Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. This is Market Today. I'm Sakshi Batra and with me is Shail Bhatnagar. Well, the Indian equity markets gained for the fourth straight day as of yesterday, marking its longest winning streak in the last 2 months. Financials definitely continue to see buying interest right ahead of the RBI policy announcement, and HDFC Bank was definitely the top contributor on the Nifty also. We've also seen the Nifty PSU banking index as the top sectoral mover yesterday, and gains right ahead of the RBI's upcoming policy review tomorrow. The RBI there is expected to keep the rates unchanged at the policy meeting on Friday, but there could be a reduction in the cash reserve ratio. That is a possibility that the street is already penciling in right now. As far as the global cues are concerned, they seem to be positive. The FIIs have returned for the second day in a row. They have bought about 1797 odd crore rupees in the Indian equity markets, and of course it's the weekly expiry of the Nifty options, and that will be also important to watch out for in today's trading session. Good morning to all our viewers and good morning, Shail.
Good morning, everyone. A very warm welcome on Market. Thursday is looking good for two reasons. As Sakshi mentioned, the FI number is positive, and we've been harping on that for the last one or two sessions that they are back in action, and now more importantly, after cash, they are long on index options and index futures as well. While that is a short-term positive, what is also strongly positive is the cues that are coming in from overseas. Nasdaq is at a record high. You have a strong traction in Dow Jones and S&P 500 index as well, and more importantly, the US 10-year yield is now back around the 200-day moving average at about 4.19%. Remember, on 14th of November, it was at a multi-year high 4.493, and from then on it slipped towards 200-day DMA, which essentially means that is fueling the risk on trade in domestic equities. Apart from that, HDFC Bank is in top form. This is the highest weighted counter on the Nifty, 12.7%. It's the highest weighted counter on the Bank Nifty, 39%. And of course, on its own, it is a very, very strong candidate for further re-rating. Apart from that, let's look at other positives that are there in the market, and there are right there in front of you. The Nifty, the Bank Nifty, the IT index are all trading above their short-term and medium-term moving averages. All of them are above that, and it's a clear sign that there seems to be a further upside in. So after a 4-day, about 600-point rally on the Nifty, you just might see the index consolidating. So options sellers will be in top form. 24,500 call and put will be in focus. All of them will lose money. Let us see how this one pans out. We'll be tracking both the 24,500 call and the 24,500 put right from the very start at 9:20. Apart from that, Sakshi, the most important data is that QIPs are back, and that shows that risk appetite is returning on Dalal Street. You have one from Forge, you have another one from PGEL. This is the EMS electronics maker, and of course you have this massive stake sale coming in from Vodafone Idea on Indus Stars. Indus Stars, as I have been pointing out for the last 6 odd months or so, is one of those quality stocks that need to be a part of your portfolio. Good dividend yield despite it being a private sector company of around 3.5–4%, plus the fact that it is majority owned by Bharti Airtel, and you just might get enough liquidity, but also consult your independent financial advisor as far as taking a position on Indus Stars is concerned. It is a quality stock available at a reasonable price, and of course with the backing of a very strong promoter. Apart from that, Indraprastha Gas, something that we've been pointing out in private circles. The company will meet, the board will meet on December 10th to discuss a bonus issue. Remember, IGL has been thrashed black and blue for various reasons, but there is a strong traction amongst quality buyers at lower levels, and the announcement of an impending bonus issue will add further impetus to quality buyers. So IGL and Indus Stars, as far as quality stocks are concerned on the long side, again please consult your financial advisor. And of course, the risk on trade is back and back with a bang. If you look at the options picture, as far as the Nifty is concerned, very strong resistance at 24,500, and that's the reason I'll be watching the call and the put. A strong support at 24,300, 24,200, and of course buy the dip and perhaps put in an extra SIP for the month of December as well. Sakshi, what are the cues coming in from the US markets? We are on the second day of the MPC meet of the RBI, and tomorrow is the credit policy. So probably a rest day for you and me today in the markets.
Well, hopefully, let's see how the cues are shaping up. At least in the Wall Street, they're actually in the finest fettle that we can expect. Benchmark indices here scaled record high levels, led by the gains in technology shares, which have posted strong earnings. And also Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell also delivered encouraging statements about the health of the economy, and the focus will now in the US shift to the November jobs, which is due on Friday. Remember that the Dow Jones advanced about 308 odd points, or 0.7% higher in trade as of yesterday. The S&P 500 gained 0.6% to close at 6,086. The Nasdaq Composite advanced by 1.3% to close at 19,735 odd levels right there. So those are the key data points that are coming in from the US. Equity markets in the Asia Pacific region also traded in the early morning session with steady gains. Japan's Nikkei advanced by half odd percent. Straits Times jumped by 0.7%. Taiwan added 0.3% as well. The ASX 200 and all the ordinaries were also up by about 0.3% as well. The GIFT Nifty is indicative of a positive start at 24,515, about 11 odd points higher. But it's now flattening out, so we'll keep an eye out on that one as well. Like I pointed out, FIs have remained net buyers for the second straight session. 1797 odd crore rupees is what they bought, whereas DIIs have net sold shares to the tune of 900 crores as of yesterday. Now, of course, markets will be closely monitoring the Federal Reserve Chairperson's commentaries. And apart from that, be up in and cross that $1 lakh mark as well for the first time. And this is right after what we have seen is that the Bitcoin levels were hovering around $99,000 odd level for a fairly long time, consolidating at these levels. But they're back in focus. This is after Donald Trump has named Paul Atkins to lead the Securities and Exchange Commission. Atkins would be succeeding Gary Gensler. He's a critic of crypto industry who last month said he would step down in January, and now you have somebody who Donald Trump has got, and that is being seen as a favorable thing for Bitcoin as well. Prices of Bitcoin are already up 47%, and we'll see how it really goes from here on too. Apart from that, let's also look at some of the stocks that are important to watch out for. Of course, Indus Towers, as Shail mentioned, is going to be important. The group will be selling 3% stake in Vodafone Group will be selling 3% stake in Indus Towers, and the proceeds from the sale will be used to repay Vodafone Idea's borrowings. The Vodafone Idea company is also looking at fundraising to the tune of 2,000 crores in a meeting that's scheduled on December 9th. We'll focus on that as well. Apart from this, Fusion Finance will be in focus. The board is approved raising up to 800 crores via rights issue. The company will retain flexibility to undertake a preferential issue also next month, and L&T will be in focus. The company has completed the acquisition of 15% stake in E2E Networks through a preferential allotment. It will finalize the secondary acquisition of 6% from the promoter by May 30th. Bharat Forge will be in focus. The company has set an indicative offer price range for its QIP at the range of 1290 to 1320 per share, representing 4.2% to 6.38% to the last closing market price that we have seen. Apart from this, let's also keep an eye out on some of the stocks which are on the brokerage houses radar. So on Juniper Hotels, we've seen CLSA come out with an initiating buy report with a target price of 430. They believe the estimates of 16% EBITDA CAGR over FY25 to FY27 will be driven by improvement in occupancy, the ARR at the Grand Hyatt in Mumbai due to competition of refurbishment as well as the start of the new ballroom right there. What they've also mentioned, CLSA has come out with a report in the IT space on Persistent as well. Here they have an outperform rating with a target price that they've now raised to 8,462. multiple growth drivers, they believe, and margin levers which are leading to higher estimates. They also believe they are operating in a different league on back of unique set of capabilities, and they've increased both the near-term as well as the longer-term revenue growth forecast. They also see 21% dollar sales as well as in a CHR basis from FY25 to FY27. On Indus Towers, JP Morgan has come out with a report with an overweight rating there and a target price of 520 rupees. Vodafone company will be will sell the remaining 3% stake, and they believe these proceeds will partly clear the IDEA's past dues, and that could result in a special dividend of 7.5 rupees per share as well. So that's something that they're also keeping a keen eye out on. Shell.
Ladies and gentlemen, 8:46, and we are blessed with the presence of Mr. Devin Choksi at DR Choksi Finserv. Namaste Devin bhai, what a pleasure as always to host you. How do you feel sentiment is on Dalal Street? Our foreign friends have turned net buyers. There is hectic activity in the aggressive part of the market, and of course PSUs are back in action. How do you feel, and how does it look?
Yeah, Shail, good morning. Well, I believe that definitely the valuations have become attractive after the fall. And certainly with the current valuations, particularly in the frontline stocks, which are remaining, I think, relatively more attractive compared to some of the mid-cap and the small cap stocks. The valuations have become attractive, which has possibly called for the bringing back of FPIs into the market. Not very surprising look, because the likes of Reliance, the likes of HDFC Bank, the likes of SBI, all good companies were available at a valuations which were far more compelling, and that's what I think the act has happened thereafter. So I think this may be a good market, continuing to remain good market at least for next few months, wherein we will see the stability coming back into the stock prices, in particular the frontline stock prices. Which will also mean that the index will remain relatively more stable than otherwise. As of now, our view hasn't changed. We believe, as we said earlier before, that 24,700 on the upside and 23,200 on the downside is a range which the market has formed. So in this range, the market is expected to consolidate before it breaks out about 24,700. So we remain positive about the possibilities and accumulate some of the good quality stocks in the portfolio during the current opportunity.
Very good morning to you, Devin sir, and good to speak to you yet again. Tell us, sir, what is the sense that you're getting right ahead of the RBI policy meeting tomorrow? That's going to be the focus. And do you also expect a status quo as markets are penciling in? Is there room for a CRR? Will that continue to keep financials buoyant, as we have been seeing all across this week? And what exactly will make street happy right now?
Yeah, good morning, Sakshi. Well, I think the voice has been very clearly made by respective ministries, the Finance Ministry, the Commerce Ministry, to the RBI and to the MPC, that if India needs to put in more infrastructure and the government spending has to increase, corresponding increase in the spending has to be side. And for it to happen, the cost of money should be relatively cheaper than what it is. RBI has been trying to monitor the inflation through the employment of the monetary policy, which in good sense I think is not working, because I think the food product prices are temporary in nature. Once the prolonged monsoon effect is over, you are likely to see the higher crop of onions and potatoes and probably even the horticultural fruits, which would possibly cool down the prices in current months and the subsequent thereafter. So all said and done, I guess I think the MPC and the RBI is definitely taking a note on this aspect, and wouldn't be very surprised to see the liquidity being infused in the system, which would possibly mean that the cost of fund will come down, and so will be the opportunity for some of the banks to remain stronger. No wonder I think some of the public sector banks are looking up, largely because of the possibility of the interest rate coming down. And that's what I think one is expecting out of this policy tomorrow.
Right. Devin bhai, one of the most fantastic trades in the market that is going on is in the pharma space, combined with the strength that we have in IT. Of course, Nasdaq is at a record high, and at the same time, sadly so, the rupee is at a record low. How do you see these two sectors, pharma and IT, and even at current levels, which have shown very smart gains in many mid cap counters? Would you have a favorite in the pharma and the IT space?
Yeah, I'm not too sure, Shail, about the pharma at this point of time because most of the positives are already priced in by many of these stocks, including the mid-tier pharma companies. So, not think whether the pharma should be immediate buy. Yes, we do like some of the CDMO and API companies which we have discussed in past as well. The likes of Laurus, the likes of BDs, they remain relatively more stronger bet in the pharma space as compared to many other the front and the mid-tier companies which are in the generic space. Within the generics also, the specialty generics players like Sun Pharma, Cipla, they remain relatively more stronger compared to the other ones, including Dr. Reddy, of course. They remain relatively more stronger compared to the others. So we remain selective about our choice in pharma, fully aware about it that from current price, the appreciation, even though the rupee is depreciated, I think is not likely to be as big as I think one is asking for. Coming to IT, leave aside the frontline IT companies where they're still struggling to get the larger part of the order book filled in. Their order books comparatively is better as compared to what it was in the previous quarters. But still, I think the larger part of the order book visibility for next few years is still missing. So I would rather remain more focused on engineering R&D IT companies where the likes of LTIM, LTTS, KPIT, Tata Tech, Tata Elxsi, those kind of companies, they remain relatively better off in the IT space. And where we believe that there is an appreciation prospects of around 15 to 20% in some of these companies.
Right. Devin sir, the other thing that I wanted to discuss is the FII picture. It's turning positive for the last 2 days. They have been buyers in the Indian equity markets. Plus, we have a lot of these global markets, the turmoil increasing. Yesterday we had South Korea. Today we are hearing about France as well. How are you really looking at the scenarios turning positive for the emerging markets, including markets like India? With these geopolitical tensions rising in other parts, do you think that could be an add-on positive for markets like India, where there is stability and FIIs may continue to look at it in a positive way now?
Yeah, while the outside noise and the disturbance continues as far as India is concerned, I think there is very little choice but to I think keep suffering because of whatever is happening around in the global environment due to war and other disturbance in the economies. But fortunately, India is focusing on its own program, and that's what is attracting people to India. We are committed to spend money on infrastructure. This year, we are spending about 11.5 lakh crores. Next year, hopefully, I think it will be at least 10% of increase in that spending, if not more. And 2030 period from 2020 to 2030, the government is committed to spend about 142 lakh crores. So obviously, I think the world is very clearly looking at India because we are spending money on building the infrastructure. And because this infrastructure is built, I think India is opening up the possibilities of further amount of growth in the industrial activities. And also along with that, I think the Make in India program as well as I think exporting from India. So all in all put together, I think we remain relatively positive. Of course, with new government coming up in America, the China plus one factor will probably play out very positively for India undoubtedly. Because China on its own is creating their own programs in their own country. America is refusing to buy those programs, and that is where probably they want to associate with India. That is understood. I believe that I think we have an opportunity, we have an advantage in this case. So certainly, I think the foreigners or the FPIs, as we call them as, they would look at India favorably for investment in every given opportunity.
Devin bhai, what have you advised your long-term clients who have been with you for decades together in this downturn? Any stocks that you have added in the last 4 or 5 years in the small cap, mid cap, large cap space Any names that you can share with our viewers?
Yeah, in 4 5 years, share definitely. I think many companies we have added, I believe, but more particularly in last 6 8 months, I think we remain very cautious about adding new companies into our portfolio. We continue to continue to hold. I think the stocks which we had bought earlier, be it in the area of defense, be it in the area of automobile ancillary. I think we continue to hold these stocks in our portfolios over long many years. Haven't added too many other companies into the portfolio except few. Even they are including in the last fall, in last 2 months, companies like Tata Technologies, companies like Bajaj Housing Finance, or for that matter, the companies like Geo Finance. Market gave an opportunity or giving an opportunity at lower levels in this company. I think it's a buy opportunity for long-term investor. We continue to hold the likes of Bajaj Finserv, Bajaj Finance in our portfolio, and we believe that I think they are doing everything right as far as the business aspect is concerned. So hopefully, I think even though the stock price performance is not commensurate with the earning growth performance, we believe that these are some of the underperforming companies which will have a better case now to talk about as far as the appreciation in coming months and years concerned. So certainly we are very selectively approaching the investment and continue to consolidate the portfolio during every rally and every fall thereafter.
Devin sir, we've been seeing how HDFC Bank is consistently moving at record high levels. What is the sense that you have on this particular stock right now for those who've been waiting for fairly long time, 3 4 years for the big 11 to finally start to move? This is happening now. For somebody who's been a long-term investor, what is the ideal approach to HDFC Bank right now at this level?
So other things being equal, as far as I think the opportunity and the opportunity basket is concerned for India as a whole to master the banking companies. In case of HDFC Bank, the one in the current it is getting into the listed markets. So certainly the valuation will start getting reflected into the books of HDFC Bank, which up till now has been missing. That could be one of the strongest point I think that one could possibly ask for as far as the recent upside into the HDFC Bank. I believe that given the strength of the balance sheet, the AUM growth could be easily in the vicinity of around 16 to 18%, if not 20%. If they end up imbibing the entire fintech to their advantage for distribution of their products and services and including sanctioning the loans, etc., then in my viewpoint, I think they hold the prospects of increasing the growth rate from 16 18% AUM to 18 20% AUM in coming quarters and months and years. So extremely potential bank, good balance sheet, good franchises down under in the books of company. Maybe I think some acceleration is required on the technology front, and they could possibly write some different story hereafter.
Right. Devin, by December 21st, will decide by the group of ministers as to what will happen in the insurance space in terms of cutting and reducing GST on insurance policies of all shapes and sizes. Within the insurance space, which has been a long-term underperformer, is there any stock that you like?
Agreed. I think such a beautiful space. I think where probably huge amount of opportunities around, and I think the stocks are underperforming. Indeed, I think something to introspect about. Maybe too much of policy uncertainty, regulatory changes included, I think is creating a good amount of I think inconsistency in the business execution for most of the insurance companies. In my viewpoint, I think having seen the private insurers coming into the market and stabilize over the last 25 years, I think the regulators and the governments should probably not intervene too much into the insurance policy regimes. Allow them to grow and build the size of the business, I think, to a greater extent, favorable to the customers. I believe the 21st meeting, I think, on GST, etc., might be slightly favorable if they cut down GST on the health insurance in particular, which is a dire need for this country, I would think so. And within the life insurances, the saving links plan may continue to attract the same rate of GST, but I think the term insurance might possibly see the lower rate of interest. So all sorts of those kind of possibilities can be ruled out when we look at the possibility of GST regime affecting the insurance businesses.
Right. The pre-open is upon us. 200-point uptick on the Nifty. I would gladly close the market, send a wonderful air ticket to Devin Bhai, invite him to Delhi. Sakshi, he and I will do a very nice vegetarian lunch and enjoy the day. 24668, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hope this bounce continues. This will be the 5th day of a wonderful rally that is upon the Lal Street. Let's look at the contributory stocks, and we'll start with the big one of them all, HDFC Bank. 30 rupees higher, 1890, 1.5% up. The first look is very, very good. All 10 index heavyweights are in the green. Now let's drill down to Infosys, 18 rupees 75 higher, 1908. Let's look at Axis Bank. Remember, HDFC Bank is at a record high. Axis Bank is available at 200-day DMA. This is something that you should look at. 8 rupees 35 higher, 1166. You have L&T 20 rupees higher, 3810. Bajaj Finance, this is something that we have to discuss with Devin Bhai. This counter has done nothing in the last 5 days. Maybe somebody will wake up here. 10 rupees higher, 6750. Kotak Bank, 16 rupees 50 higher, 1768. Lever, 14.5 higher, 2479. This is how the top index heavyweights, super index heavyweights are concerned. Okay, now let's shift focus to what's happening in the FNO space, because that's where the maximum action is. 10 percentage point uptick on Vodafone Idea, ladies and gentlemen. For those who want to exit, this probably is a great place. Indus Stars, a gap up of 6.5%, 381. Let's not chase this. Okay. Indraprastha Gas, something that I've been pointing out. December 10th is when they discuss a bonus issue. 4.5% higher, 376. A strong move coming into Federal Bank. Record high, 1.9% higher, 219. Petronet, Hero Motors, all of them up about 1.5%. Let's go to the cash market. Let's see where the action is. Torrent Pharma, 3386. This is in the green. There is an IPO. There is a QIP also available here. PVR Inox. This is something that needs to be watched for today and tomorrow. 3.5% higher, 1654. Pushpa 2. That's the second movie that's come in the sequel. Huge expectations from there. Huge amount of pre-bookings for tickets. I'm not sure whether Sakshi is going, but I am not. But the stock is in top shape. 3.5% higher, 1651. Tejas Networks comes back into fashion, 2.5% higher, 1375. There's no stopping HEG, 2% higher again. This is the third day of gains. And of course, KPIL, 1.6% higher, 1185. All told, a very strong opening. Nifty is still up 100 points, 24,541. So the call writers at 24,500 will now be a worried lot. Let us see what happens. There will be a lot of call unwinding. In any case, there is this weekly expiry pressure. So call unwinding coupled with short covering is what you will see in the market today. All in all, a great day ahead. Devin Bhai, a quick view on PVR Inox.
I think good content definitely could drive at least near-term fortune for the company, in the sense that I think better quality of business can be expected. You mentioned about Pushpa 2. I do not know, but somewhere I read that I think they're trying to keep the tickets at a very premium level. Do not know whether I think that will generate enough amount of occupancy. Of course, I think the class of people will go and visit, but whether it will generate enough amount of occupancy, particularly from masses, I'm not too sure about that aspect, because tickets are kept high. But at this point of time, yes, certainly I think good content is coming in. dire need for this exhibition businesses, I guess. I think they may probably look up at least in the near term. Not too sure about immediate reaction for the long term on this particular business.
500 in Mumbai, I'm told, Devin sir, and in Delhi also they're surging almost 1800 to 1800 levels. So that's the kind of premium that Allu Arjun's second movie is commanding already. Let's see how it really moves forward. PVR Inox would definitely be hoping big time on this one to revive its momentum yet again. But let's see how it pans out. There are expectations that it is going to be probably crossing not just the previous Pushpa's records, but all the records, that on the box office. Move forward beyond the movie space, and let's understand more about the food space as well, because food and entertainment go together. And what we've seen of late is that a lot of these brokerage houses are upping their targets. For even Swiggy now gone beyond that 500. I wanted to understand, from the valuation part, is it closing in on Zomato? Is it still looking more comfortable over Zomato, or because of the profit, in this space that one needs to watch out for now?
So, incidentally, yesterday we had a very detailed discussion on this subject, I think, with our team of analysts. And
Okay.
probably I think some few thoughts came out of this. That on one side, this consumer tech business definitely, I think, have changed the way in which we consume different product and services. And I think they continue to dominate that particular habit of every customer. Zomato kind of company having about 15 crore kind of a customer with them. Swiggy smaller compared to Zomato, yet catching up very fast. I think the both models are moving in the same direction of trying to create different hooks within that. On one side, food delivery business, on the other side, dining out business. Now with the entertainment added or the ticketing business added by
Yes.
Zomato, so that is also getting added into going out business, the quick commerce business that they have, and also the hyperpure business, which is B2B business, I think, which they have got in the Zomato is market cap. Swiggy is putting it somewhere around 1,10,000 crore kind of a market cap. Zomato hopefully 100 crores, which might possibly double next year and thereafter also. But still, we are paying a price of 2,60,000 crore already for buying this market cap uh, valuation, I think, for this company. And so is case with Swiggy with 1,10 crore market cap, still to make profit, but promises to make profit in 3 quarters. So all put together, I think unless market gives you the margin of safety, I think remains promising and exciting. I would know whether I think immediately we'll allocate significantly large sum of money for buying these kind of businesses, because valuations are not comforting us at this point of time.
Fair point. And that's the reason to get Devin Bhai so very often on the show. In the most gentlest and polite manner, he will tell you what not to do. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the crux of what to buy and what not to buy when Nifty is around 200 ADMA. Devin bhai, coming back into action is two of your favorite counters, Geo Finance, and nothing is happening on Bajaj Finance. What are you personally doing on both of them, and what would you suggest?
A, investment. B, adding more into the portfolio with the fall in the market. Why? Because I think both these companies are fundamentally appearing absolutely strong. Bajaj Finance, of course, is a running business model, more than 3 lakh crore AUM, growing the size of the AUM at around 20% plus, and continuing to dominate as a respective verticals in which they are present, along with process the loan faster, effectively, and in a cost-effective manner. Plus, commanding the premium. So, at every point of time, I think getting the money from the market at a premium, and in turn, I think is growing the business steadily, while not, I think, extraordinarily creating higher amount of risk. It's a matter of time that I think you find this company's stock price start performing, though it has been underperforming for the last couple of years. I would think that I think this will start performing. is unfolding the business model in due course of time, as I understand. NBFC part of the business, the insurance part of the business, the wealth management part of the business, distribution product part of the business. Each of these businesses which this company is likely to roll out, I believe that I think they are going to significantly add two things: at the back end money and at the front end technology. Technology would be probably used for the distribution and creating the reach and at a competitive price. And the back end money is basically being used for the purpose of building the business model first to begin with, and then after supply money for the lending purpose. I believe that I think the AMC business, the NBFC business, the wealth business, distribution product business, I believe that I think each of these businesses have underlying strength which could possibly give the larger amount of trust to the investors. Maybe it's a this kind of companies. That is
Okay, got that. Apart from to get and railways, some bounce returning on both of them. We are also hearing from the government as to how big they're going to be getting as far as the acquisition proposals of 22,000 odd crore rupees is concerned. That could augur well for a whole host of companies that would cater to the Navy and the helicopter space particularly as well. Some of the radars are also going to get acquired to up the defense preparedness of India. How would you really look at these stocks now? Do you think the worst is for sure behind both these pockets?
so. I think probably the stock price fell in the month of October, November, largely because the valuation could not sustain at higher levels, and justifiably so. Because on one side, your execution is 15 to 20% kind of a growth in a year. On the other side, if you are getting the P's of 60, 90, and 100, definitely I think it demanded the correction. And we were very vocal about it that this correction and the correction in the valuation compared to what they were, if it ends up giving the opportunity around 30, 40 times price earning ratio, that would be a good opportunity to buy first to begin with. Did market give this opportunity last month? Answer is yes. Partly, I think you got the opportunity in some of the select counters where the stock prices fell and you got the opportunity. Other side, the government is spending big time money, and I think the new defense orders have started pouring in for most of these companies. With, of course, I think the condition to supply within 3 years, 5 years, or 7 years, as these orders are. But at the same time, it gives you the visibility. Since the government is going to be spending money on the defense and the railways both for next 5, 10 years as per their program, I would think that any correction in the stock price will always be a good opportunity to buy these two franchises in the portfolios.
Okay, 9:14, ladies and gentlemen. Devin bhai, a very quick one on LNT. Is this a level to get into it for the long term?
Always a good story, Shail, but I think we'll always give you the moderate return, not I think extraordinary return. So if you are happy with around 10% plus 10% to 15% kind of return, I think this is a story to buy into. Otherwise, buy when I think the stock is giving you an opportunity at a lower price.
Fair point. Remember, LNG and Reliance are still available below 200-day DMA, as is also Bajaj Finance. It would be foolish of me not to use this opportunity when Devin bhai is there to ask about these three wealth creators, which he and his group have been tracking for decades altogether. Now let us see what the Nifty is bringing for us today. Okay, 32 points higher. Remember, today it's the weekly expiry. You will see a consolidative phase. Off the block is the IT index, 0.5% higher, 200 points up. The Nifty Bank flat, Nifty 500 better than the Nifty, 50 points higher, 23,153. Okay, first look on the top 10. All 10 of them are in the gains as far as the index is concerned, and that's really good. Look at Infosys, 20 rupees higher, 1909. Look at Reliance, 6 rupees higher, 1314. Look at HDFC Bank, mild profit booking, nothing to be worried about, 4 rupees lower, 1856. Okay, Axis Bank and ICICI Bank are in the green. SBI is flat. Bajaj Finance, interesting, 28 rupees been looked at because this is the only counter that has not participated in this uptrend for the last 5 days, let us hope that a fresh move starts. Now, news based. Indus Tower, 2.4% higher, 365. There is a QIP in the works. Idea Cellular, 0.7% higher. That's looking good. Indraprastha Gas, 1.5% higher. December 10th is to discuss the bonus issue. 365. You have a strong move coming into stocks such as Swan Energy, 2% higher, 723. CDSL, no stopping it, fresh record high, 1.7% higher. Ireda in top form, 1.2% higher, 219.8. What else is gunning in terms of gains? You have Tejas Networks, how interesting, 3.4% higher, 1385. The Nifty is now negotiating 24,500. The put at 24,500 for the weekly expiry, they should go down to zero. Let us see what else is happening in the market. Any all-time highs? CDSL, CAMS, Indian Hotels, Oberoi Realty, Federal Bank, Coforge. The same set of stocks that we've been tracking in for a while. So momentum is on the long side. Devin bhai, a quick one on Bajaj Finance. What to do? Get in, 41 rupees higher, 67.80. Is this a buy zone? We'll throw that question to Kush Katakia. Kush, your view on Bajaj Finance?
Good morning. Definitely, I think Bajaj Finance is forming a base. We have seen a good momentums in last 4 days. So we can buy with the stop loss of 10 days average, which is at 66.60. On the upside, I believe 200 average can be your first short-term target at 6890. So definitely we can take a risk with strict stop loss at 10 days average.
Okay. Good morning to Kush. Thank you so much for joining in. Kush, I wanted to understand 24,500. We've been hovering around this level. Expiry, where do you see the Nifty and the Nifty Bank today?
Good morning, Sakshi. I think Nifty, I believe, could anywhere close around 24,400. We have seen a good open interest over there. Now, on Bank Nifty, I'm a little bit cautious. I mean, we will be in a strong upside momentum if we cross above 53,400 on the spot level. So, Bank Nifty is very difficult to predict because private sector banks other than HDFC are not supporting. But definitely, Nifty can be close around 24,400.
Okay. And any key stocks that you're looking at right at the open? It's the IT space that's garnering most trend. Do you think this is the space that you would look at, or are there any other stocks that you're looking at today?
Definitely, I believe on the long side, IT stocks are looking good. Even NBFCs like Bajaj Finance is looking good. But my eyes are on Tata Motors. If at all we see a good momentum about 800 on Tata Motors, we'll see a good sharp recovery because that's a stock which is underperforming since quite a long time. So Tata Motor is on my radar. I will buy the stock for BTST or short-term positional long above 800. So keep that on your watch list.
Fair point. 9:20 for us, ladies and gentlemen, 24,500. And this is the time when we track our options. Let me just mark the 24,500 call and put for you so that you can trace that. The put is at 101 and the call is at 99. Let me just recheck that and get back to you. I don't want to get this wrong. And more importantly, because it's the weekly expiry, if it expires at 24,500, both of them will go down to zero. Let us see what else is in trade. HEG 2.6% higher, 597. Tejas Networks in top shape, 2.7% higher, 1376. Sakshi's Niva Bupa is doing very well, 6.5% higher, 104.9. Graphite is showing profit booking, 2.2% lower, 594. Nothing to be worried about. This is the third day of gains. Max Health is back in action. And of course, you have Bajaj Housing coming back into action. percentage points higher at 141.30. All told, good market opening. Anything that I want to mention in the top gaining space, we'll let that go. But let's look at the broader market and the advanced decline that is upon us at the moment. Nifty is in the green. 1565 shares in the green versus 573 in the red. Sakshi and I track 19 indices for you. Out of 19, 7 are in the red, and the rally is led by the IT index. Please remember, Nasdaq is at a record high. Please remember, the rupee is at a record low, and therefore you have a lot of moves coming into mid cap stocks such as Coforge, such as Tata Elxsi, KPIT Technologies, Persistent Systems, Scient, many of them at record highs. Mid cap select 100, 0.5% higher. Small cap and mid cap in top shape. Sakshi advanced decline on NSE 500 is 322 shares in the green, 173 the red. Nifty is now moving rapidly above 24,515. Sakshi.
All right, let's also look at some of the buzzing spaces in the F&O space. Max Healthcare, as Shail pointed out, is definitely in top shape, 3.8% higher there. But Zomato is picking up now pace, 294 in the F&O space right now for Zomato, about 2.7% higher. You have Info Edge, Persistent Systems also buzzing in trade. Even within the Nifty Next 50, it's Zomato which is now moved to the top spot with that move coming in. Along with it, Varun Beverages are also pulling up pace as far as the QSR space is concerned. Your sense, Kush, on Zomato, what would you do with the kind of move that we've been consistently seeing on this one, now up 94 odd levels?
Definitely, I believe, as a disclosure, I'm already we are looking at a fresh breakouts after the results of Swiggy. We have gained some momentum in this sector. So 286 can be a near-term stop loss. We can buy fresh. On the upside, 320 is the short-term target for the month of December.
Okay, so that's as far as Zomato is concerned. Remember, the IT space is the top mover right now. CSR among the top gainers on the Nifty. You have Apollo Hospitals, that's up 1.4% as the top mover. Bharti Airtel is inched up higher, recovering from yesterday's lows. And even apart from this, we are looking at gains coming in on Ultratech Cement, on Wipro, Tech Mahindra. Reliance Industries also 0.5% higher. Titan is moving up as well. These are the pockets that are buzzing on the Nifty right now. As far as the declines are concerned, it's to the tune of Bajaj Auto that continues to be under pressure now at 89.53. It slipped below that 9,000 mark. NTPC, JSW Steel, Power Grid, SBI Life and Coal India are the ones that are lagging behind. Broader market still doing well. Small caps about 0.5% higher, and the mid caps also in tandem right there. What's buzzing on the small cap index? You have Kalpatru Power Projects. You have 4% higher on this one. Intellect Design is up 2.5%. Aster DM Healthcare is also buzzing. Swan Energy, PNB Housing Finance, CDSL is also moving up strong, about 2% higher. CAMS is also moving up, about 2% up in trade. Let's get this one going then for you, Kush. CDSL and even CAMS. How would you really look at these broking houses outperformers? They continue to show strength. Your sense there, should one continue to track the momentum here?
Definitely for long term, one should still track the momentum and CDSL scams. I believe rather than doing brokerage houses in particular, CDSL and CAMs are the services which are going to, to stay for longer time. Revenues are steady. So definitely, I believe CDSL at current levels is also a good pick for long-term investment. 1600 can be a trailing stop loss. On the upside, target can be around 2300. CAMs, maybe I would wait for some correction to enter. But definitely, if you're holding CAMs, you should hold on with the stop loss of 5100.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's the day for exchanges, and we'll have a very nice uptick both on BSE and on MCX. Let's see what the charts offer, but a strong move coming into many of these counters which are doing pretty well. I'll also request Kush to take a look at HDFC AMC. This is something that is doing pretty well, and after a very nice correction, we have HDFC AMC at 4365. 4328, still up 2 rupees. Let's take Kush's view on HDFC AMC.
Definitely it is strong, but since the morning, maybe just 15 minutes, but we are in some pressure from opening minutes. So I would let stock consolidate. If we maintain the momentum about 43.70, definitely it's still a fresh buy. But if you're holding on existing position, a target can be around 44.20. But for fresh buy, wait for a few minutes.
Got that. Apart from this, let's also look at the buzzing IT names yet again. TCS has moved to the top spot, now up a percent. Infosys about 0.8% higher. Tech Mahindra now up half odd percent as well. Across the board, there is an entire move that's taking place on the IT pack. Where would you keep your preference right now, Kush, within the IT space?
Tech Mahindra is looking strong. I mean, if you look at the momentum since many days, it is trading strong about 10 days average. So 1760 can be a strict tight stop loss for 10 rupees VTST. We may see 1790 by tomorrow.
Okay, got that. So that's as far as Tech Mahindra is concerned. We'll keep an eye out on this one. Apart from this, let's also see what else is buzzing. I think some of the mid-cap names are doing well, about 0.4% higher in trade for this one. Within the mid-caps, you have Max Healthcare, that's up by 3.8%. BSE has also moved up. Remember, we were talking about CDSL and CAMS related to the capital market space. BSE is up by 2.7% as well. IT mid-cap names like Tata Elxsi, Persistent, KPIT Tech, that's also moving up sharply. Mazagon Dock is moving up within the defense space as well. Let's in fact look at some of the other defense names apart from Mazagon Dock 2, which is at 49, 42 odd levels. Let's look at a Cochin and a GRSE to see if the momentum is continuing across the board as well. And Cochin is down by 1.4% today. Let's also look at Garden Reach. That's a 0.4% of decline. Let's also pull up Paras Defense, for instance, and HAL and BEL to see how that one is also moving up in trade. HAL, in fact, is up by about 0.7%. Paras Defense is down, but BEL is also in the positive zone right here, just about 0.2% odd or so. Within the defense pack, would you carry on the trade anywhere, Kush?
Definitely, HIL is looking strong 200 average, and all short-term moving averages are situated on HIL near 43.30. So definitely, if you're a medium-term investor and you are wanting to park your liquidity for at least 2 to 3 months, HIL you can take risk. 43.50 can be a stop loss. On the upside, if we witness short covering, 4900 can be your target. So 10% upside from current level can be expected if we sustain on the market momentum.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's now focus on the options part of the market. Because the Nifty is in fine shape, 46, 47 points higher. The weekly call of the one expiring today, December 5th, 24,500, at the moment is a strong 119. At the same time, what is the put doing? The put will be under pressure for two reasons. Time value will be decaying, and of course, because the Nifty is up, it is also going to be negative. Again, 110. So 113 and 110 are the two numbers that I want you to remember, and we will be focusing on what they will be towards the end of the day. Sakshi, I think there's a very, very strong move coming into Zomato, and it is at a record high. Yes, 295. Let's check with our friend Kush whether this momentum needs to be chased. 295, 3.5% higher. Zomato for you.
Definitely, you should chase the momentum. I believe still 320 is on the card. 286 can be a stop loss, so risk to ratio is also favorable. Now Zomato is in the future also, so definitely a good opportunity for short-term traders to trade in futures.
Okay. Let's then look at some of the other pockets now. Infosys is also toggling higher, about 1.13% up in trade. IT space is now 1% higher. Broader markets picking up further pace. FMCG is also now looking attractive. I think it's now about 0.4% higher. Let's look at the FMCG pack. Varun Beverages 1.7% up. Then you have about half odd percent uptick on Colgate, Balrampur Chini, UBL, USL, ITC. Some strength returning to this one. Consumer durables is something that we've been discussing over the last few days, and stocks like Blue Star is up by 1%. You have Dixon Tech, you have Havells, some move returning here too. Let's look at the broader markets if there is any other interesting name that we can talk about. From the gems and jewelry space, it's Sky Gold, that's at 5% uptick. HEG has been already marked. Premier Explosives is up at 5%, and Skipper is up by 6.5% as well. Then you have Niva Bupa has been marked by Shell 8.8% higher. RPP Infra is up by about 9 odd percent as well. Then do we have any other interesting name right there? Very few and far between that we can discuss from the Nifty 500 list. But within the Nifty Next 50, you also have stocks within the auto ancillary space, Samvardhan Motherson coming back after a long haul, 1% higher in trade. It's been fairly long push since we've been focusing on the auto ancillary space, particularly stocks like Samvardhan, which were having a dream run at one point in time, and it became a trader's favorite stock too. Your sense on whether the momentum will return on this one? Are there any signs that this is the time that it could be forming a nice bottom and moving up then?
No, definitely, auto stocks are not moving, auto ancillary are definitely not going to have a good momentum. So I believe if you look at the auto index yesterday, it was underperforming. Today also it's flat. Stocks like Tata Motors, Maruti, Escorts, they are not also performing well. So I believe, auto ancillary sector as a whole, still there is time to, for a base formation. But definitely Motherson Sumi is a stock, for a long-term investors who have created a good wealth since its, market entry. So if you are an investor in Motherson Sumi, you can hold on. But for fresh buying, I would wait for around 145 to 150 levels.
9:33, the first 15 minutes have lapsed. The Nifty is now well above 24,500. So two things will happen. Most likely, the call writers at 24,500 will now unwind, which essentially means that particular call will go up. Let's again look at the price of that one. 24,500 call is at 113 rupees, and the put is at 119 rupees. Am I right? Yes. But at the same time, maybe the month end call of 24,500 can also be looked at, which is at the moment 379. So please keep an eye out on these two spaces. And Sakshi, I think we'll have a digit change in Zomato today. 297.30. Last time we checked, it was 295. So strength coming into Zomato. Let's look at the volume. Yes, it is the third most active traded counter on the NSE today. Already 481 crores transactions are done. The first is Indus Towers. The second is HEG. Again 5% higher. Remember, day before yesterday we had tagged into HEG at I think 514, 511 levels. So that is doing pretty well. And coming back into action is an all-time favorite, Tata Elxsi, 73.34, 2.7% higher. Kush, mid-cap IT in top form. What is Tata Elxsi telling you?
Definitely, Tata Elxsi is forming a good base. Already, it has a good volume support. So at current levels, maybe fresh position is not recommended. Already, we are 3% up. But anywhere around 70 to 90, it's a good entry point. On the upside, I believe we may cross 7,400 soon. So hold on if you have bought yesterday. 7,400 can be a BTST target.
Okay, got that. Well, apart from this, Kush, could you also help us with your view As far as some of these power majors are concerned, we are seeing some power moves coming in HPC. Then stocks like Coal India also are coming back. Some of the renewable energy names are also coming back in focus yet again. Where do you want to keep your focus as far as the entire power move is concerned?
But definitely, if, as an investor, I would look at India because that's a stock which is trading almost 20% discount to 200 average. So definitely Coal India, which has a good dividend payout ratio. As an investor, you should look at such stocks also and expose around 5% portfolio where dividend payout is pretty much good. So Coal India is a stock where I will buy on dips with the stop loss of 380 for long term. I
Hmm.
believe 480 can be.
Right, so that's as far as the power movers are concerned. We'll keep an eye out on that too. What else is picking up pace within the PSUs is IRCTC, now up 0.7% in trade. You have IRFC, that's up half odd percent as well. Railway stocks are also buzzing. Anything specifically within the railways push that you like? Stocks like IRFC are making a comeback of sorts. Would you be a comfortable buyer into this?
Definitely, we are getting at a good, comfortable valuations and levels technically, but still momentum is not sustaining. We have seen since last 2 weeks, IRFC is not able to cross over 160 mark. So maybe I will wait for some minor resistance to break out. So if we break above 160, IRFC will catch the speed and we may see like a rally like a bullet train. So the focus on IRFC above 160.
9:37, ladies and gentlemen. The market continues to do better and better. Nifty IT is in top form, and that's because of multiple reasons, which is the record low on the rupee and of course the record high on the Nasdaq. Let's look at what are the contributory factors in Nifty IT. Infosys is contributing 200 points. TCS is contributing persistent 2019, and Infosys has about a 40% weightage in the IT index. Zomato 299.40. We are 60 paise away from a record high, which will happen. There will be a digit change in CDSL. We will see 1800 soon. Look at how the volume has leapt as far as CDSL is concerned. CDSL is the fourth most, 7 rupees, 4.39% higher. Remember, it is also now a part of the FNO space, and I'm sure is the third best gainer. BSE is the second best gainer, 3.4% higher, and Zomato is up 4.5%. Remember, BSE has a 15% stake in CDSL. So the more the market capitalization of CDSL rises at record high levels, it will have a nice flavor on BSE as well, which in any case was beaten down, and you see now activity coming back into it. For a very strange reason, Divi's Lab is the top traded future today, and it is down about 3.4%, 6,057. That's how the FNO trade is at the moment. Fairly strong moves on IGL, KPIT Tech, CDSL, BSE and Zomato. Profit booking on Indian Bank, Manappuram Finance, Oil India, Idea Cellular and Divi's Lab. Sakshi.
Okay, got that. We are off the high point, 24,469, absolutely flat on the Nifty right now. We'll keep an eye out on that right here. What's not really contributing, it's the Nifty Bank that's slipped into the red, about 0.1% or so. Financial services down by 0.1% as well. The Nifty PSU banks are now down half odd percent. Remember, after this yesterday's 2.5% kind of a move, that's seeing some profits being taken off as of now. The private banks are absolutely flat at this point in time. So quickly, we are seeing some of the pockets see a lot of volatility and profit booking. PSU, real estate, pharma, metals, autos, Even oil and gas is now slipping into the red. It's only IT that holds up about 0.8% higher, and the broader markets along with some consumer durable names. But you can quickly see some of the gains getting underway and under pressure as of now right here. On the banking space particularly, Kush, do you see this pressure escalating from here?
Uh, Definitely. I mean, if you look at yesterday's move, only the Captain HDFC Bank was moving with some PSU support. But we are lacking support from ICICI, Axis, Kotak, or even IndusInd. So unless and until these four starts performing from private sector bank, Bank Nifty can be sideways because today PSU banks are in pressure. So definitely, if these four banks doesn't perform, we may see some pressure on private sector bank. And as we mentioned in the opening statement, 53,400 should be taken out with heavy volumes. Then only we will see strong momentum in the bank nifty.
9:41, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just mark some unusual shares which are now moving in volume. This is something that we do fairly regularly, and this something needs to be tracked on volume buzzers. Okay, in NSE 500, Indus Stars. Please keep an eye out on this. Tejas Networks, 11.2 lakh shares have been traded. 1.4 times the 5-day average, and we haven't even done the first half an hour of trade. Anything else that I would like to mention in positivity? Indraprasth Gas, 2.8, already 70% of 5-day average is traded. CDSL we marked many times. Zomato, okay, 40% of volume is traded. What else is interesting? I think these are the ones that make some sense. Okay, NSE 200, let's look at top gainers. We'll do some unusual stuff today. Okay, Naukri is 2 percentage points higher, Sakshi, fresh record high, 86.20. MRF, we generally don't mark this, but let's do it. Varun Beverages, 1.5% higher, 628. Ireda in top form, 1 percentage point higher, 219.22. And of course, Tube Investments of India. This is again a quality stock, 1.2% higher. Remember, there is this talk of cutting down GST on cycles. Tube Investments makes two of them, BSA and Hercules. Let us see how it goes. They are cycles, but they are unlisted. So whatever love the market wants to show, it will be on TI India. Sakshi, what are you watching?
Well, a whole host of stocks that are buzzing within the capital market space, Shell. BSE particularly, it's now soaring even higher. In the F&O space, it's up by 5.5% now. It's picking up further pace. In the cash markets, it's up by 4.3%, 4771 right now for BSE, along with CDSL and CAMS that we've marked. Apart from this, the entire space, stocks like Edelweiss, Nuvama, Motilal Oswal, they're of course in the buzzing zone. So the capital market space continue to ride high on momentum. Kush, BSE first, how would you really look at the stock at 4771? Would you continue to buy? And any other stock within this space that interests you at the current levels?
Definitely, BSE has seen a good momentum, and yesterday it was around 200-day average, and we have seen a good, strong move with volume. So 4,600 can be a stop loss, and you can hold on BSE. On the upside, 5,000 can be your first target. But definitely, other stocks we have already mentioned. I believe CDS and CAMS. I will trust them more rather than particular brokerage houses. So uh, go with CDSL and BSE. That's my call.
Okay. Got that. Okay, so Bharti Airtel is now picking up pace. Shall you have marked some of the stocks in the telecom space like Indus Towers and Tejas Networks? It's Bharti Airtel that's moved to the top spot. Telecom space, Kush, for you, would you continue to stick with maybe Bharti Airtel, or are there other names that are now looking more promising for another leg up?
No, definitely, Bharti Airtel is a good stock, but still, this is not the best time to go for the long. As I'm looking at the charts, we have seen a good fall on Bharti Airtel since last 3 days. So exactly, we are taking support at 10-day average. So maybe wait for a day or two. Yesterday's fall was with heavy volume, so today's follow-up closing is crucial. If we close below 1580 today, then we may see some more weakness. And if we close over 1600, we may regain the rally. So today, Bharti Airtel is just on the watch list.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are now at 9:45. Half an hour has lapsed, and we are in the green as far as Nifty is concerned. Bank Nifty is showing profit booking, 53,212. That's mainly on account of the move that is coming in on HDFC Bank. No worries there, 7.5 rupees lower. But what is supporting the Bank Nifty today is Axis and ICICI, even Kotak in the green, and SBI mildly in the red. Let's look at how momentum is now building on CAMS. This is the second stock in the FNOs, in the cash counters, that is doing very well. A quick one from you, Kush, on CAMS. What are you seeing?
Definitely, CAMS is in strong momentum, but currently fresh position not advisable because if you look at some last trading, 7 trading sessions since 26th November, we have came from 47,000 to 5,400. So I believe shareholders 5,200 can be a trailing stop loss, but fresh buying is not advisable. Trend line resistance is at 5,600, so that can be your target. So hold on to existing positions.
Okay. Well, quickly we are seeing the markets dwindle under pressure. It's only the IT pack, slight gains in the FMCG space and the broader markets that are just holding up. Rest of the market space among sectors has slipped. PSU banks is now down by 0.7%, metals down by 0.4%, realty, pharma, autos, banks, consumer durables have all slipped into the red right now. Even on the Nifty, we have most of the stocks, I think about 37 odd stocks that are in the red now. The top loser right now on the Nifty is NTPC, down 1.6%. Bajaj Auto, JSW Steel, SPI Life, Grasim and Cipla are the other stocks which are dragging in trade. The PSE index is also now down by 0.5% with gains limited to a few railways names, power and defense names as well, but rest of the pocket has all slipped into the red right now. Within the broader markets, you see sharp pressure being seen across the board on stocks like, say, NTPC Green Energy, which had yesterday gone up sharply. It's seeing profit booking of about 4% in trade today. Then you're also looking at stocks like maybe a Genus Power that's also dragging in trade within the broader markets. On the Nifty next 50 names, Zomato continues to be in top form along with Info Edge, which is also an investor in Zomato, by the way, 2% higher for this one. LTI, Mindtree, Varun Beverages, NHPC, Bosch, Torrent Pharma, Zydus Life Sciences. These are the stocks that are doing well. But in the losers list, then you have Divis Laboratories that's now slipping 3%. Adani stocks are also under pressure in trade today. So you see stocks like maybe Adani Green Energy that's down by about 1.28 odd percent. And Adani Power, Ambuja Cements, all of them in some losses right there. Adani Total Gas also, mild losses being seen across the board on the Adani group as of now. Okay, Kush, anything else that strikes your attention on the long or the short side in the market?
Maybe I will wait for Nifty. If you break yesterday's low at 24,366, we can short metal stocks. Hindalco is on my radar. Other than that, Indigo is a stock where we can short fresh because we have an impact of higher crude prices, and we had seen a good sharp short covering for 4,000 levels to 4,400. So we want to fresh short as of now. 44.20 can be a stop loss on Indigo futures and target on 42.50 for positional basis. While Hindalco can be on radar. If we see Hindalco below 660, we can fresh short.
9:50, ladies and gentlemen, profit booking upon us Nifty slipped 50 points, Bank Nifty slipped 133. I won't be worried, but I should be. India VIX up 6% at 15.35. That's the fear index, and that is fueling some sales on the option side. Nifty is now going to test 24,400. Remember, the high for today was 24,540. So that is something that is worrisome, but hectic activity in the wealth management space today. Sakshi's marked BSE, CDSL doing pretty well. You have Angel One in the greens, CAMS at a record high, and of course strong moves in a few mid-cap IT counters like Coforge, like Tata Elxsi. So all told, the going is good, and it's the weekly expiry of the Bank Nifty that we are negotiating. In the last 4 sessions, the index has gained about 590 points, and some of it is being taken back by the markets. CAMS and CAMS all the way. Very, very strong buying sentiment on CAMS. This is the back end of the entire mutual fund industry that we have, which is 80% of that market is controlled by them. Your SIPs, how you invest, what is your portfolio, that monthly mail that comes in is all because of this back end company. And of course K Fintech as well, that is yet to hit a record high, but that is something that you should be watching. New highs, let me just mark again. Of course some names that we've already discussed. PG Electroplast today is a QIP of about 6.5% stake at a very, very decent discount to the market, which is at 690 rupees. Today the price on PG Electroplast is above 800 and 5.5% higher. Remember, this is a split stock, already 5:1, so the actual price is above 4,000. What else is at a record high? You have a strong move coming in AYM Syntex, 283, 3.3% higher. A strong move coming into Kaplan Point. This is a pharma company, 3.8% higher, 2454. Sakshi.
Okay, markets have slipped about 42 points lower on the Nifty, 24,425 right now. We are seeing increasing pressure across the board. It's only the IT and the small caps now which are holding their ground. Rest of the spaces have all slipped. It's now the media stocks that are down by 0.9%, PSU index that's down 0.7%, real estate down by 0.6%, pharma down 0.5%, metals, autos, financial services, consumer durables, banking space, infra, mid caps, all of them have slipped into the red right now. Very far and few between stocks and pockets which are still holding up. Among the IT stocks on the Nifty, you have TCS, Infosys, Tech Mahindra, Wipro, HCL Tech as well. Among the banking spaces, which is still holding up, is probably Axis Bank and ICICI Bank with absolutely mild gains right there. Bharti Airtel, of course, 0.5% gains can be seen on this one, and Dr. Reddy's Laboratories is also, just managing to stay afloat in this weakening setup right now, and the volatility could probably further increase as we are now heading into the weekly close, expiry of the session today on the Nifty. But let's also see where else. Zomato we've marked, BSE we marked, CDSL. These are the pockets that are holding up, and there's just very few stocks that are actually to be discussed. On HEG, there's a sharp move, about 4.8% higher. Shell marked this yesterday, and we have some questions coming in from our viewers as well on HEG. There's a YouTube viewer of ours, Narayana Murthy, and he says, please suggest a target and stop loss for HEG. He's holding about 100 shares at 520 odd levels. Your sense on HEG particularly, Kush, what would you suggest for trading idea? HEG? There's a target and stop loss requirement from one of our viewers on HEG. He's been holding the stock at 520 odd levels. Right now it's at 608.
So trailing stop loss can be kept as today's low, which is 575. That can be your stop loss for next 2 days. On the upside, 640 can be your target. So exit if it hits around 640 or plus or minus 2 rupees, and on the downside 575 can be a strict stop loss.
Okay, got that. Well, within the broader markets, you know what else is buzzing apart from HEG's Paradeep Phosphates? Remember, this is one stock that Vineet Bulinchka was talking about even yesterday. And then you have about 6% uptick on this one. PG Electroplast is also up by about 5 odd percent. Then you have stocks like RPP Infra, Surya Lakshmi Cotton, Skipper Limited, that's also in the buzzing zone right there. What else is buzzing probably is popular vehicles and services. And then you have Sikal Logistics also moving up. Pitti Engineering is another one that's also on the move. These are some of the stocks that are actually buzzing about 5 to 7 odd percent higher in trade, but very, very few stocks right there that you can definitely look at right now. Looks positive to you in the broadest market right there, Kush?
Maybe I would just wait, Sakshi, for today. The way fall from the high this minute, so advising at current levels is a little bit difficult.
Fair enough.
And that would be a sensible thing to look at for two reasons. One, we are on the weekly expiry of the Nifty, therefore trade is extremely volatile. Nifty is moving in 100 point high being 24,540. Again, it's been negated by call writers, and 24,500 continues to be a very, very strong resistance. At the low, you have 24,400. So this 140 point range, that is where the Nifty is oscillating. The one space that is working really, really well today is the wealth management space. All AMCs, many brokers, and of course the back end of the entire system, which is exchanges and service providers, are doing phenomenally well. There's no stopping Zomato. It's the top traded counter today. Risk on trade is back. You see very strong deals happening in the QIP space. Bharat Forge at 1650 crores. PGEL, which is PG Electroplast, doing pretty well. And of course, in action are both Vodafone Idea, which is selling a stake in Industars, and Industars itself. Sakshi.
All right, Kush, we'll thank you on that note for being with us on the show, and we'll start to wrap up the trade, viewers, for the morning edition. It's 9:58, 24,400. That's something we'll have to see whether that holds on towards the end of the session as well. We are 54 points down. The Nifty Bank is toggling around 53,000 odd levels, 210 points lower in trade for this one, about 0.4% of a decline. Sectors, all of them are down in trade, barring the IT space and the small cap index that's still holding up. Bharti Airtel is the top mover, 0.7% higher. TCS, Tech Mahindra, Infosys and Wipro. Clearly the IT stocks that are just trying to hold the fort at this point in time. Bajaj Auto has slipped. One of the is the top loser on the Nifty today, 1.8% lower. NTPC, JSW Steel, SBI Life, Power Grid, Cipla. These are the stocks that are down in trade as of now. But in the F&O space, it's BSE that continues to hold up pretty strong, 5.5% higher. CDSL, 4.8% higher as well. Very strong move coming in. CAMS is also moving up strongly. Max Healthcare is another one. Zomato and IGL. These seem to be the spaces where all the action is limited to among the stocks right now. CDSL is now, in fact, above 1800 levels as well. It's not only changed a digit, it's continuing to move up at record levels right there. We'll continue to look at how this one also continues to move. We'll wrap it up at that. Thank you so much, viewers, for joining in. And thanks a lot, Shail, as well, for being with us in the morning show. We'll continue to track the market movement for you throughout the course of the day, viewers. Remember, today is also the day when we'll focus on the pre-RBI policy coverage as well. So there'll be a lot of action, both on the markets as well as on the macro front as well on Business Today television. So don't miss out on any of that. I want wanted to draw your attention is the entire defense space right there. Remember, the center has cleared 5 acquisition deals to improve India's defense preparedness right there. 22,000 odd crore rupees nearly is the kind of proposals that are going to be augmenting defense preparedness for India. What does it mean for the entire sector now? We do know a lot of stocks. Do you think the worst is behind? Is this the right time to?
Yeah, I think defense is a multi-year story.